Hey guys, it's Chelsea with Transcending Healing Mind and Body. I'm back for day 2 telling my story. So, again, I'm new to this, so bear with me. I'm excited that we get to do this together. I have no experience recording videos, so that is definitely a learning process. I also want you to know that this is first take. There is no editing, there's no scripting. I don't have anything planned out. We're winging it. So whatever comes to mind, this is raw, real, unfiltered Chelsea, my story. So I guess we'll just jump right in. I went ahead and watched the video I posted yesterday because I've kind of been reflecting since then, and so many things have come up. So I rewatched that, and I just started thinking back to those early years, those elementary years, those childhood years, really thinking about everything I experienced then. I am going to pause this and come back in just a minute because my puppies are calling for me. So, and maybe you'll get to meet them soon. But anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Where were we? Oh, reflecting on the video I posted yesterday and just my childhood in general. So I finally switched to an adult doctor when I was, how old was I? I think I was probably 23, maybe? I'm not really sure. I was in my 20s, my early 20s, whenever this happened, that I finally left my pediatrician and went to an adult doctor. And I stayed at my pediatrician so long because I had so many health issues and they knew my whole health history and everything I'd been through. So it was just easier to stay with them when I had so much chaos going on. Because when I went to the pediatric pain rehab program at the Cleveland Clinic when I was 20 years old. So yeah, I was definitely into my 20s for sure. Anyway, so when I left my pediatrician, I got my huge thick file and I decided to read through every single doctor's note because I was wanting to make sense of how did I get to this place where I'm just so sick. I was so sick, guys. If you don't know my story, I was in and out of the hospital. I lost feeling in my legs. I couldn't walk without assistance. I ended up in the hospital because I couldn't use the bathroom. It was really dark. Anyway, so yeah, you can see my brain is like going in all these directions and I'm trying to stay focused. So I hope I'm not losing you. Anyway, so I'm reading all these doctor's notes, trying to figure out how I got to this place of just being so sick and just suffering. And what I noticed was I was in the doctor's office I mentioned yesterday I was bit by a brown recluse when I was 6 years old, and I was in the doctor's office every single month after that because I was sick. I was always sick. Anything that came around school, any virus or flu or anything that came around. I got everything everyone else got. And my mom said that if the doctor said I was going to be sick 3 to 4 days, I would be sick 5 to 6 days. If the fever was going to be 100, my fever would be 102. I just always got the worst of the worst. I was always sick. And I think back to what was going on in my life in those early elementary years. And all of my memories from that time were feeling different, feeling less than, feeling not enough. I was full of fear and anxiety. I remember in the first grade, that's one of my core memories, was this being embarrassed about not being able to read well and being afraid that my classmates were going to know that I was not an advanced reader. And I remember this is back before they, really, I guess, monitored like what level books you read by taking like, now they have accelerated reader programs and you have to like test on the book and stuff. And it wasn't like that when I was in school, but I remember checking out from our little library or whatever, purposefully more advanced books than I could actually read because I was so scared of what people were going to think of me if I got a lower level book. And I just always remember those kinds of feelings of being embarrassed and being scared and having anxiety and fear. And then I think to symptoms that I was experiencing at that time, not only was I sick all the time, first of all, it's amazing the things that you don't realize are, okay, I'm just going to jump right to it. So I was constipated all the time. Okay. And I'm just going to, trigger warning here, whatever comes up in my stories. And I mean, it might feel like TMI, but this is real life. Okay. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I was constipated all the time. I didn't know I was constipated. I didn't know what constipated meant. I didn't know, like, you were supposed to go to the bathroom so often, that you were supposed to have a bowel movement every so often. I didn't know. I remember going to the doctor and having my doctor ask me, like, do you have normal bowel movements? And I always said yes, because I didn't know. Like, what are normal bowel movements? Do you know that as a child? Is that even like a thing? Is that common knowledge? I didn't know. So I had that. I had really poor circulation in my legs. My legs were always like botchy and just different colors, and having those growing pains that I mentioned yesterday. I was always achy and just uncomfortable. That feeling of wanting to crawl out of my skin, I remember. So yeah, just a lot of, like, I think back to those years, what was going on in my life. I didn't have any, big T traumas at that point in time. So I think just the insecurities, the anxiety, the fear. I remember feeling embarrassed. I remember feeling I wasn't good enough, and I had these really high expectations I had to live up to, and I was a big sister, and I had to behave a certain way and act a certain way and be a role model. And whether, I don't have core memories of my parents, saying you have to do that and you have to do this and whatever. I mean, this could have all been just expectations I placed on myself. I'm not sure. But I don't think it's a coincidence that I felt so insecure about myself, and I was sick all the time. Also, I think it's interesting that I've always wondered too because when I was sick and I did get to stay home from school, I got that one-on-one attention from my mom. And my sisters weren't home sick. It was just me and my mom. So I wonder if there's something to that as well. But anyway, I think that's enough for today. I'll see you next time. I'm excited to continue transcending pain and symptoms together. Bye.